How are you, everybody?
We're really good. We're really good.
Awesome,
So
awesome.
Fernando is actually an Etsy expert, like we were talking about. We're really excited to hear about, some of the things that he does with Etsy and how he integrates that with his business. And with that, if you want to just introduce yourself a little bit, Fernando, so that we can know a little bit, and we'll ask you some questions. And we've probably got about 12 people on here right now.
Awesome. Yeah, well, my name is Fernando Sustatia. I've been doing unprofessionally e-commerce since 1998, full time since 2000, I think 14. I'm starting to forget if he was 14 or 15. He was somewhere around the lines. Um, I started, with eBay, and then around 2013, I started using Facebook groups to sell. I'm a toy collector at heart. Okay, I don't know how many toys I have. I lost track. I have boxes and boxes in my garage. Just I have toys that I haven't seen in a decade. So I started selling Hot Wheels on groups, and one day I found a Lego investing group, and before I realized, I was buying and selling Lego for very nice flips. That group is still open. It's called Lego Investing. It's run by Chris Green. If you want to check it out, but it's not the same as used to be. Now, Amazon has become a trouble. They accept returns. People steal the Lego pieces and then they return the Legos, and so it's not what it used to be. But I still make about $80,000 a year in sales selling Lego because of that little flip. Right? I buy cheap. I sell expensive. It's an amazing place. And what then, in 2014, I started selling full time on Amazon. I left the oil and gas industry where I was a contract specialist. Even though I'm not an attorney, I got a lot into the legal background of contracts on oil and gas. And one day I just said, this is going to be my job for the rest of my life. And I'm going to be doing the same, use different title. I'm going to be negotiating contracts wherever. And I told my wife, I don't think I want to do this for a long time. Well, got her my prayers because 3 months later, they laid me off because the oil and gas was collapsing here in Houston. So they gave me freedom to start doing this, what I wanted, a year earlier than I was expecting to do so. I was doing retail arbitrage. You guys know what retail arbitrage is. Is pretty much you go to stores, buy cheap, so expensive. Uh, you know, put it in lame terms. It is what it is, and quickly realized that it was going to be for me to achieve the numbers that I wanted to achieve. I needed to either build a big team or spend the whole day in the street and always packing. So that's when I came up, with print on demand, and I started doing Amazon custom. I was one of the first people that did Amazon custom, and then I was what people would call the merch insider in with merch by Amazon. By merch insider means that for the good part of 2015, 16, early 17s, I was part of a group of 10 people that Amazon would invite to their warehouses to brainstorm about what products they wanted to bring to merch by Amazon. So I was one of the very first people, you know, literally in the world, one of the first 10 that actually had pop sockets, print on demand. And and I have pictures of all that to prove that I was inside the warehouse. So, and that was actually the reason why I stopped doing print on demand on Amazon. Uh, Amazon has no respect for sellers. And being an insider, we started noticing that. One day I talked to the vice president, in a meeting. I said, man, you are making it very difficult for me to make money. And he answered, Amazon is not in the business of making you money. It's on the business of making our customers happy. And that's when things started to click. And I'm like, I'm in the wrong platform. And I started moving my businesses away from Amazon, away from net control. And that's when I started opening my Shopify stores and my Etsy stores. And even though I still do Amazon, it's something that every year I'm trying to do less and less and less. And my goal is by this is going to be my last quarter for on Amazon. I plan to be by next year fully, completely operational only on Etsy and on Shopify. Uh, in Etsy, It's a great marketplace. I had found that it's like the midpoint between not knowing what to do in e-commerce and going full blast, like going to Shopify. It's a it's a place that you can go with little understanding of marketing, little understanding of customer satisfaction, little understanding of sales, and still make sales and still make good money. Whereas when you go to Shopify, you have to know marketing, you gotta know computer, you gotta know coding, you got to know Google, you gotta know SEO, you gotta know a lot of stuff. And if you don't know how to do all this stuff, you're gonna spend a lot of money to get all that stuff connected and working to have your store actually performing. I know Shopify advertises things that you just get your team installed and now you have a store. Yes, you do. But the difference between having a sale and not having a sale is literally a tenth of a second of a store loading fast enough or not. People have learned to be completely impatient. And when you have a Shopify team that is very slow, people give up and move on and they go somewhere else. So you have to really know how to make those stores be completely effective in terms of loading. Otherwise, you're just spending thousands of dollars in traffic with no results because people just go and they just leave without even looking at the product because they got bored of waiting. And the boredom of waiting was literally 10 seconds. It's that ridiculous now with the attention spam that we have now in our clients. We got to make an impact right away. And if we don't make that impact and get them into get the impulse to actually purchase something, we lose them. And that is what we are fighting today in the industry when we're selling products, especially products like print on demand or printables. These are products that people were not going with intention to purchase. They like them, they were attracted to it, and if we don't get them to execute the sale fast, they jump. I went way ahead of the conversation. I'm sorry, but as Liza knows, when we start talking today, I love talking about what I do. So
you do.
I guess that's enough for introduction. Hi.
Well, we're excited about having you. Can you tell us a little bit about like how Etsy works, as far as like how you list stuff, how things sell, a little bit about the front end of it and how that works?
Well, Etsy is, as some of you may know, it's a pay-to-play marketplace, right? You gotta pay 20 cents to create a listing. That listing lasts for 4 months, and if you don't make a sale, the listing dies or renews automatically, depending on what you set it up to be. And it will renew every single time after each sale occurs. So if you sell 3 items, it will renew 3 times. Even in the same purchase, people buy 3 products, is 3 renewals. So it will be 20 cents per renewal. So it will be 60 cents per sale. You sell 3 items at that sale, which, if you put in the product or skill team, it's not a lot of money. The fees are around 10%, the selling fee, which is cheaper than eBay, way cheaper than Amazon. I don't know what the selling fee is in Facebook. I used to sell
5%.
Yeah, I used to sell on Facebook way before they even had platforms. So I haven't done anything with using their tool. So I don't really know. But is 5% plus the credit card fee, or is 5% including the credit card fee?
It includes the credit card fee, taxes, and shipping.
That's cheap. Here is about 10%, give or take. Depends on the categories. It's including the payment as well. So it is not a bad deal. It's they run a lot of ads for you outside of Google, and they only charge you when the sale happens. So if a sale happens, they will charge you anywhere from 12% to 10%, depending on what tier you are in sales volume. But if you make a sale through Google, they will charge you another 12%. But that is you have the right to turn those ads off if you want to, but once you have 10,000 or more sales a year, they are always turned on. So that is
So
the
it's
way.
10% plus another 12% if
Yeah.
Google sells it. So 22% plus
Yes.
the 20-cent listing fee, basically.
Yes, but
Okay.
you just picture you having a Facebook ad campaign running 24/7, but instead of charging you per view or per like or per anything, it only charges you when the conversion actually happens. So that is huge in terms of savings. I know a lot of people complain that it's very expensive, but when you are seeing it that to get that sale, probably somebody clicked 100 times in your store, that is literally, a 0.12%, per click. So that is cheaper than running an Amazon, a Facebook ad, or running a Google ad yourself, in terms of conversions and stuff like that. It's a guarantee sale that if you were to calculate, okay, out of how many sales I get a Google sale, let's say you have 10 sales and one out of 10 is from Google. You just say, okay, I'm going to increase my price all across the board by 1.2%. And I will be covering that 12% from that specific sale. But the one thing we have on Etsy and sometimes, and we also have on Facebook, is that we have a lot of sellers that are not business-minded people. And when it comes into those percentage, they see, well, they are stealing from me. There is no way I can make money. 12% takes all the profit away from the sale. And you see it that way, it could. If you are selling products that you're only marking up at 12% and at 12% is killing your profits, then you have the wrong product and or at the wrong price. You should be aiming to sell everything at 30 to 40, 50% markup from your actual cost. So that 12% wouldn't even tickle you. And also you are paying 12% as a customer acquisition cost, because Etsy allows you to gather emails from your sales, and that could be done actually automatically by connecting a Weber to your store. A Weber is an autoresponder system that is actually for free for the first 100 emails. So you can grab your first 100 emails entirely for free, and then it's like $14 a month. You go to the first tier level. It's super cheap, and you can then do internet marketing as long as you bring the clients back to Etsy. You cannot, Etsy don't I mean, I don't see how they can actually prove that you are sending them to somewhere else, but they only allow you to use the emails if you bring the clients back to your Etsy store. And and a little bit of Facebook, that those emails, you can actually plug them into your Facebook ad account, and you can create lookalike audiences and targeting and stuff like that. So you don't have to really email somebody to actually put products in front of their eyes. So, which Etsy also allows you to connect to, and I showed you today, to connect it to your Facebook shops. So anything you create on Etsy can also be shown in your Etsy shops, and your Facebook pixels also go into your store in Etsy. So you can track all your clients' behavior. If you know how to read those analytics, it can also be very beneficial for you, because you know what products are being clicked and what products are being viewed the most. And you can plan your strategies on how to manage those products. Etsy is when you compare Etsy, eBay, and Amazon, which are the three big marketplaces, and then the other ones that I don't even remember the names. Etsy is the most comparable to Shopify, because we get Google Analytics, we get Facebook Pixel, we get email marketing, we get SEO, we can do alt text on all our images. So we can do SEO. If we do a listing correctly, we would show on Google Shopping without even running ads. Almost all my students have their products showing on Google Shopping, and they're not even sponsored products. People just come through Google for free. They used to have viable pins on Pinterest, but right now Pinterest is a mess with all these people looking to buy Pinterest. They are it's not really working the way it used to, but I'm pretty sure Pinterest is gonna work good soon. But Etsy is Etsy used to be this marketplace that was for people that like handmade products. Okay, it was like going to a trader's, market, here locally, and finding all these handmade products that people were doing on their garage or in their small shops, and it was literally that, right? Things that were one-offs. If they were clothing, they were not all sizes. If they were decorations, there was in only one color. And Etsy wanted to go public, and there was no way they could go public with the volume of sales they were having. They were looking to be a bigger business. So they came out with this wonderful idea that graphic design is handmade because we use our hands to design. It's a loophole that they made up themselves because they didn't want to change you know, the phrases and the promotional items and things to say everything on Etsy is handmade. So they said, okay, if you design your process, you design your graphic, either for print on demand, for printables, or for whatever it is, if you were to buy part of the production process, it is handmade, right? And so, and that is where print on demand, we found our loophole, and we said, okay, we can go and sell now print on demand products, shirts, mugs, tank tops, tumblers, canvas, pillows, plates, anything we want to sell, as long as we disclose that we were the ones who actually designed the product and that we are using a production partner because we don't have the capabilities to actually produce it at home. And so we had to fully disclose that in every single one of our listings. Etsy knows that we are using a third-party production company because we're using an integration. So they know through the API that we are using them, and they don't mind as long as you disclose that. And that is the key word there is that you want to sell something print on demand or printable, you have to be part of the design process. And by you, it means you or your team. So you could have a full-time designer and designing for you, and they're part of your business. Like, for example, my Etsy stores are not as my name, they're actually as my company. So a member of my staff is the designer. So that way I am in compliance. I cannot buy designs from somebody else and use them as is. If I was to buy designers from somebody else, I would have to at least modify them to make them be mine. So otherwise, you are not in compliance. And somebody was to file, like, let's say they see a design, which people do all the time. You find designs that's like, that is not an original design, and people report you. Etsy will message you and say, hey, can you provide, proof that you actually designed this? And if you don't, they shut you down. So it's something that you always have to be careful about that. There is always somebody that has enough time in their hands to be looking to used to report people. They are more concerned about shutting other people down than making money for themselves. It's that limited mindset that most people have, when they're like, I am not selling anything. It must be because somebody else is cheating and they are selling, so they can report them. Other than that, Etsy is a very visual marketplace. Where you go to Amazon and everything is with a white background, used to look everything uniform. You really have to only highlight the product. You're not allowed to have like pictures of flowers or things or somebody using the product. Those can be done in the second or third images. In Etsy, everything is done horizontally. All the mockups are done in a horizontal way, like they were billboards in the street. The reason is people tend to look like this when they're looking at images. We don't look like this. We look like this. So when you're glancing through the page, the horizontal actually gets attention. So one thing that a lot of people make mistakes on Etsy is that they put an image of the product and that's it. the image of the product is meant to be actually a billboard where you can actually put information about the product saying available in all sizes, also available in these colors, and you can put all the other colors available, and you can put like somebody actually using it, and you can actually do so many different things with that image because you're competing for eyes. When people go into Etsy, they are looking for things that attract their eyes. So your image has to jump to people's eyes immediately to get that click. If you are not getting clicks and you're being shown, chances are is that your mock-up is not working. It's not getting people in, it's not inviting people to actually click. And it's
So you can actually put words and everything like that on
yes.
your ad.
Yes,
great.
you can do everything as long as it's true and to the product. You can, like for example, right now my students are selling plates, and they are 100% manufactured, printed, and shipped from the United States. And we are putting that in our products and our banners. Like probably made in the USA, and that automatically is catching people's attention because right now there's a growing interest on only buying USA made products.
Agreed.
And not everybody can do to say the same. A lot of people who are selling plates are bringing them from China or bringing them from Korea or different countries like that. Well, ours are USA made, and we can put that banner right there, and it's getting people's attentions to actually click. And rule of thumb is that people are willing to pay a little more if it's done in the US than if they're not done. So there's a lot of people who are afraid to sell American products because there's people are not going to buy it. And people will buy 20-30% more, pay 20-30% more than another product.
I have a question for you with putting a listing up. Like for example, on Facebook, we put all the details and information on there. There is a little bit of SEO that has to happen when you're doing that. How do you know what keywords to put in and everything to be able to get to the top so that people see it other than just the pictures? Is there anything that that you do, or how do you know how to do that on Etsy?
Well, can I share a screen? Is there a way I can share a screen? I not very efficient.
You're muted. You're muted, Lisa.
Click present now.
Okay, there we go. There you go. Okay.
Thank you, Alex.
So when you're on Etsy, actually, let me. Listings, open listing, add a listing. There we go. So when you're in Etsy, you get 10 images, right? So the first image has to be the mockup that I told you. There has to be in a horizontal mockup. And then the second image has to be the second, third, fourth image can be about the product in use or different color or whatever you're actually showing. Is this short? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
The next screens can actually be see, follow me on social media, or here's a coupon. If you buy $30 or more, here's a coupon. Use this coupon for X amount of percent. You can actually use these images for marketing. Say, do you like this product? Why don't you check this other product? That, for example, let's say this is a plate, and I can see here, why don't you get the platter as well? You buy, the link is in the description. You can actually use these images to actually persuade the client to do more. Like for example, let's say we're selling a coloring book, a coloring page, 10 pages for $5, right? It's very common. And we tell them here, do you want to buy our coloring book bundle? Is the one you're buying right now is the mermaid bundle for $5. But we also have the pirates, we also have the doctors, we also have the parrots, we also have the cowboys. I don't know. We have 10 different bundles. And we tell them, you buy all the 10 bundles, it's only for $12, right? People tend to go and buy the bundles because they're like, oh my God, I'm only for $7 more, I'm going to get 9 more bundles. chances are they're going to buy it and never going to open it and never going to remember they bought it, because the initial intention was only to buy the mermaid bundle, and the other ones they never intended to do. So they're going to end up like all our digital files that we have in our computer and a folder that we will never remember. But that increased our cart value. And then we get their email, and then we keep emailing them again, say, hey, because you bought this product, we have more now. And then they're going to come again and buy probably the one that they already bought in that bundle. They're going to buy it because they probably did it for another kid's party or something, right? But we can do cross promotion. So the title is 140 characters, and we have to use pretty much every single one of these words. Now, some people say that using this character between, let's say, ink, unicorn, coloring book. Some people say you should use this to separate the deals, no commas. I use this. Data shows that is better. I don't know what it's called. It's the vertical line. I don't even know what it's called. What?
Pipe.
A pipe. I don't know. And then you keep going and going and going. So one way to know here is that you can go and go unicorn, coloring pages, coloring book, coloring sheet, coloring SVG, coloring bulk. It's telling us all the most popular keywords that people are looking for them right now if we go to coloring book. So if we go coloring pages, that makes sense for my coloring book. Yes. Coloring book makes sense. Coloring chart doesn't make sense. Coloring sheets, I could probably use that. Is that an SVG? No, it's not an SVG, but it's going to be probably a PDF. So let's say coloring pages, are they for adult or are they for kids? So this is going to give me a lot of ideas on what keywords are actually being used by going and typing there my initial phrases. So I can go and say PNG. It will probably be in PNG. Or then I will have PNG bundle. You see PNG designs, PNG files, PNG download. So it's giving me keywords that I want to use. So those keywords, I want to dump them here by avoiding to repeat, not using the same word more than twice. Otherwise, it just gets spammy. So if I already use the word unicorn, I want to use it one more time. So I can use unicorn downloadable PDF. I don't know, coloring pages, color pages or something. I want to use different variations of the words. So now I have the downloadable, I have the pages that I actually found when I was going through here, right? I found the pages and I found the download. So I'm using those keywords. And when I have that, then I go and say in the description, I write a story. These unicorn coloring book is easy to download for you to print on 8x10, paper. Your kids or loved ones will love coloring these unicorn sheets. So I start making the same keywords that I use in my title. I start dumping them in the description, but also making a connection with my client by writing a story of what they're going to do. And I'm giving them literally instructions here, little by little on how to use them. And then here I give them instructions how to download them and what to do and what not to do, right? Then I go into my tags. Where are the tags? Here we go. So tags, and then I'm gonna do unicorn coloring page. Actually, it's gonna be coloring because I won't be able to fit more. So then I'm gonna see coloring sheets, PDF download ready, PDF. I want to start putting every word that I use in my title and in my description, but in small chunks. What Etsy does is that if I was to say unicorn coloring pages bundle, Etsy is going to go and say, okay, I found the word unicorn here. I found the pages here. I found bundle here, and then I found, I don't know, coloring here. And Etsy's going to say, okay, this listing has the 4 words that are being asked are in this product, and now they're going to show it as a deal. And they're going to, and the beautiful thing about this is that if we go and we go inside a listing, let's go one that is actually, no, that is, this is a client. So view stats. Every listing is going to tell us the stats of every single listing independently. So this one has been visited in the last month 30 times, has been sold one. I sold it for $27, and it's going to tell me the traffic it has. It's going to tell me where my traffic came from. This one came from Etsy, Etsy search, Etsy marketing and SEO, direct traffic, social media, or Etsy ads. It's telling me where my traffic is coming from, so I know if it's coming from Etsy ads, I probably want to put more money on ads. If it's coming from social media, I want to probably promote it more. It's telling me, and then it's telling me the keywords that got me the clicks. Etsy dinnerware is the one that got me these and stuff like that. But it's not the one that got me the sale. So because that was sold before 30 days. It was an Easter plate, so it's no longer being, nobody cares about it anymore. But it's going to tell me every single one. So let's say that I don't have in my title the word dinnerware. I can add it to my keywords and add it. So because this is telling me all the keywords that people are using now is Ashland, Easter bunny, butterfly. Any of these words make sense to my listing? Yes. Add it to my, and somewhere in my listing to make it, to reaffirm it, right? If it doesn't, we say, hey, do not. You can also tell Etsy, do not show this listing under these keywords. That way, it is not burning and that is only when you're running ads. You can, when that says, no, do not show it here, do not show it here, do not show it here, because sometimes it happened to a client of mine. She had a tank top that was about fishing, but it had a fish. So her keywords was fish tank top. Well, great for fishing. So she was running ads, and that shirt was spending, that tank top was spending all our budget every single day for like 5 days in a row. No sales. And we were like, what the heck is going on? People are clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking, but they're not buying it. So we went and looked at what is the keyword that was eating our budget. And we realized Etsy takes about 3 days to start showing you data after you run ads. So they don't show you right away. So it takes a couple of days until you get real data. And we noticed that shirt was getting a lot of traffic on their fish tank. So we entered the keywords fish tank on Etsy. So our shirt was showing with fish tanks. So people who were coming for fish tanks, we're seeing that tank top, and we're just out of boredom, curiosity, or whatever it was, clicking on it. Mm-hmm. They were looking for fish tanks, so they were never interested in buying. So we had to tell Facebook and Etsy, do not run ads under those keywords, fish tanks. And we had to do it for every single thing in her store because she had a lot of tank tops with fish on them. Wow. We were not running ads on them, but now we know that keyword is not good for us. So we get to remove it, but we get all that data. And it's something that, for example, on Amazon or on eBay, we do not get. We don't know or Facebook. We don't know how our keywords are performing or who is that showing it to. Etsy, if we pay attention to every single listing we make, we're going to get that data. Okay. We're going to know exactly what is happening and who is actually looking at it, and so we can correct. Because as in any marketplace, even though they don't tell you the number, every product that you list, they have a number of views or showings that they're willing to give before a sale happens. So let's say it's 10,000. So if those 10,000 views happen on this keyword, Etsy is going to say that product is useless. I am never showing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you actually pay money for ads, they don't want to waste time showing something that is not going to sell. So
Right.
that is why if a product has not sold in the 4 months of the life of that listing, it's worthless to renew it. In Etsy's eyes, if you didn't sell in 4 months, yes, go ahead and spend another 20 cents and renew it. It's best to create that listing from scratch again and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Etsy takes about 28 days to index, fully index. So by the age of 28, your product has not had views, sales, or anything. Your keywords are completely off. It's time to go and completely change everything about it. If you look at your listing that is being shown but not being clicked, the worst thing you want to do is change your mockup. People are is being shown, but they're not getting interested in clicking. Your product is not being attracted to their eye. They're not clicking. If you go to Etsy, you notice everything in Etsy is very colorful. It's artistic. It's more towards women. Etsy is a very female marketplace. Even though a lot of men go there to buy, and there's a lot of men products being sold, they are not really sold for men. They are sold women buying things for men. So that is what they're targeting. So your images have to be more targeted towards women.
Awesome.
Niches that are only targeted towards men don't perform really that well on Etsy.
Okay.
Somebody
I have Tish who has a question for you.
Sure.
On my listings for my other sites I sell on Facebook, Mercari, and eBay, I have found that using a paragraph of descriptive, pretty fluffy words don't tend to do a lot, whereas treating it like a business with product details, height, weight, bullet points, looking more like a business profile tends to do better. Do you feel that on Etsy it's just the opposite, that a more descriptive paragraph works better versus a business listing look?
Well, you start with that paragraph as the way I said it, because that is for SEO. That is where Google finds you. So you want to be found on Google. The little description that I was writing, that is what Google goes and searches for you. So that needs to be there. That is the way you do it on Shopify. That's the way you do it on Etsy. But then the second part of the listing is like you would do it on eBay or on Amazon. You go and describe the product in bullets and say, this is the size, these are the dimensions, this is the material. Yes, you go and do that after. You have to. It's technically is the legal representation of the product you're selling. But you want to start with that little phrase because it's also proven that when people, usually involving a little bit of comedy or a little bit of emotional feelings in that little phrase, in that little paragraph, actually makes connection with the clients when they're actually doing it. Okay, if you're telling somebody this shirt is going to make you look pretty, guess what? Automatically, your mindset gets you into like having a little chuckle, a little smile, and then you keep on reading. But already you are reading it with a whole different perception. That is, you go look at the price and go and read everything boring. Most people don't read that. They are more for us to protect ourselves against returns, refunds, complaints, and stuff like that. That's more like our protection clauses by saying the dimensions, the weight, everything else. Most people don't care. They don't really, when you're selling like a t-shirt, they want to know only if it's made of cotton, what is the color, but they don't really want to know the brand of the print on demand shirt because they don't know what Gildan is or Bella is or, all the other brands that we have, in print on demand. They just want to know if it's cotton, if it's pre-shrunk, if it's a tearaway label. Yes, you want to tell them those things. And you can do those on bullet points, just like you would do on eBay. Thank
you. Does anybody else have any questions? We have about 15 minutes total left.
Wow, I already talked that much. I'm sorry.
Hey, no, you don't need to apologize. I think we've drinking buckets of water from you about Etsy. It's kind of fun. everybody always knows that my mom sells Etsy products also, and I know I had mentioned that, but just really getting that breakdown of how those words are put in there and so that people can find is so interesting. Tish, you had another comment?
I was gonna wait, but since nobody else jumped up. Um, Now, a friend of mine sells on Etsy a lot, and she does vintage and antique, and that's kind of what I was gonna go for. But she'd mentioned like not so much parties, but she has to be a part of groups and on Blue Days like other people's stuff and promote other people's stuff. Is that something that you do, or you just pay for ads and listings and don't bother with all that? Because I didn't, because I'm not interested in promoting other people's things. It's not that I don't want to, it's just I don't want to put my effort there.
I
Is that
lost a portion of that question. It's not connecting in my head. Can you ask it again? I'm sorry.
No, no problem. My friend said that she sells on Etsy,
Uh-huh.
but there has to be like a promotion of other people's items. Like she'd mentioned that one day it says promote 3 blue items, and she goes and promotes 3 blue items, a part of whatever group, and that other people will promote her things. Is that not the case? Or do you not do that? Or
That's more like a pyramid scheme, right?
no, okay. Then
No.
maybe it was something they used to do and they don't do it anymore. I don't know.
Where do they promote it at?
There are groups, Facebook groups that actually do that, and it was very popular back when people were selling face masks, because people were running out of masks, so they were allowing other people to promote. So then when they run out, other people were promoting and stuff like that. And there is some Facebook groups where there is an audience looking for gifts, and they say, okay, you share it, and I share it, and everybody shares. Yes, there are some people to do that. There are some people who like to do it. I don't. I do not need to do that. My products I run internal Etsy ads, and I do my SEO to be shown on Google. However, for example, I have a lady that is in my mastermind, and she has this huge following of parrot lovers, and she sells a lot to them. So she promotes inside that community. She has a Facebook group, and she promotes inside of them, and she has an email list, and she does that. I have another one that has a huge community on cats, and she does the same. So building a community like a Facebook group for a specific niche sometimes is rewarding, and it can get you a lot of sales. Just like an influencer, right? When people go to your group, they go for content, and then out of the blue, you can even use that audience for market research. Let's say you go and say, hey, my team just designed these 2 designs. It's about a cat, let's say, and which one do you like the best? And they go and say, I like A the best. And I said, okay, thank you so much. But now I have another question. What product do you think this one looks better on this shirt or in this mug? And people start commenting, and they said, okay, it's a mug. And then you say, thank you so much because you helped me. I'm going to give you a 20% discount on this when I launch this. Do you want the coupon? And by the time that you say that, everybody who gave comments are so invested on that product, and they have a sense of ownership that they want it, and they go and buy it. It's just basic psychology, right? It's like, because now they're gonna say to their friends, I helped design this. It's there. But I know it's not what you asked, but it's a different way of approaching that. Can you do it? Yes. But at the same time, you have to think in the other opposite side of the coin. Let's say you go and share 3 of your products to that community that you're talking about. And that community just goes and clicks, and no buys. They just go and click because they have to click. That burns your listing. So it's a double-edged sword. It can be a winner because everybody might like it and buy it, or it can be one of those that everybody uses for being nosy, goes and clicks, and then Etsy says this product is useless. It's getting a lot of external traffic, but it's getting absolutely no clicks, and it's saying, I don't want to show it anymore. So you have to be really careful when you join those types of groups, because sometimes they can end up damaging your product and your listing if you don't get the sales.
So how many listing or how many clicks do you get or views do you get on
There is not
Etsy
a
before it
number.
burns?
There is no number. I don't know.
Okay, it's
But
just a guess.
you start seeing your listings that you cannot even find them yourself.
Mhm.
You go to search, and even by typing the whole title completely, and it doesn't show. It
Sure.
just Etsy just killed it. It's like, yeah, this is so you gotta go and redo it, and sometimes just relisting it with the different keywords, and that thing starts selling. So
Mhm.
it's different pictures and different images, and sometimes it's all it takes, and it starts selling. So it's good to always refresh, things and do it again.
Awesome. Thank you. Fernando has a bunch of links that I put up on the chat board. You guys can reference those if you want, and I will also put them on the video when we do the replay later on. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your mentoring that you have, and then we will close everything up for the day?
Sure, thanks. Well, we have different programs. We have from basic courses to coaching and mentoring programs. The one right now that we are promoting is the Done For You Etsy store. We will build your store. We will do the logos, branding, everything. We will set up your store, your terms and conditions. We will connect your autoresponder. We would connect it to Facebook. We will do all that stuff, and then we will give you 6 months access to my mastermind, where we have group calls twice a month, second and fourth Tuesday of the month at noon. And in those ones, you do is pretty much just 2 hours long, and members just go and ask questions about their store and stuff like that. You have no issue sharing your store. You share your store, and we give you feedback. All the members interact, and we show you how to fix it and how to improve and how to do. Or, like, for example, last week we had the providers of plates. They came to last week. They came and introduced themselves, and they gave us introduction to a new product that they're going to launch, a new type of plate. And all my members of my community, I'm going to be the first ones to actually go on market with it. Next Tuesday, we're going to have the owner of Verbanti. I don't know if you have heard of Verbanti. It's a print-on-demand company for books, agendas, and paper products. And they're going to be there on Tuesday because they have a lot of products that are not print-on-demand. They're in minimum order quantities. And they're going to give us group buying power. So, like, let's say you can buy, I don't know, a notebook for $10 a piece. You buy minimum 25, but you buy 500, they will give it to you for like $7. So if all my group comes together and buy 500 together, they will be $7. And so she's going to give us that buying power. And there's a couple of products that my audience wanted to sell. They were binders, but they were leather bound binders, and they were printed in both sides, and it's an interesting product. They want it and they have it. So, and we have 5 people that are going to come actually together in my group. Each of them are going to buy 100, and they're going to place the order for 500. So she's coming to tell us how that is going to work. So we always have, like, sometimes have guests and stuff like that, and we do. And you also will get a lifetime access to my design program, where you get designs every month that you can use on print on demand or on Printables, so they're all editable. And that is the one we are promoting right now, because on Friday, Monday, and Wednesday, we're going to have 2 trainings on how to do a printable business on Etsy.
Hmm.
And they're going to be live trainings that I'm going to be teaching with Donna Crenshaw, myself. We're going to be teaching it for like an hour and a half for 3 days. And then we'll have a Q&A. If that is what you want, group coaching, but if you want to go and actually work with me and one-on-one, then we have another program that is called the Done For You Coaching. We build your store, but then I work with you for 8 hours, used in different times. There's 8 coaching hours, and we go literally. I review your store. We sit down. We create the listings together. Everything else. I know that is, if people who want more hands-on, deal, and they want to go faster, that is the one we have. Anybody has any questions, Lisa has the links, but if you want to contact me directly on Facebook, just tell me that you came from Lisa, and and we can schedule a call, and I can explain to you a little bit more about it, and and go from there. My
you.
Facebook profile, if you go and look at it, is Fernando Sustatia. Lisa can give you the link. Send me a message, and we can schedule a call or whatever you want to talk more about this one-on-one.
Thank you so much for everything. We appreciate you coming and sharing your information with us today.
Anytime. I mean, if you have more questions and you need me to answer them, send me a message. I'll gladly answer them, and you can do it in writing, or you need me to come another day and talk about it again. I know in an hour we cannot teach Etsy,
but we made a good effort. Thank you, Fernando, and thank you everybody for coming and joining us today. We will see you next week.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.